There comes a moment in life when you have to decide, are you playing it safe or are you all in? This is All In Empowerment, the podcast where we crush fears and step boldly into the life you were meant to live. I'm your host, Betsy Martell, coach and adventurer, here to push you past your limits and unlock your full potential. It's time to level up your life because empowerment isn't just a mindset, it's a commitment. So are you ready? Because in this space, we don't tiptoe, we go all in. All right, well, welcome to All In Empowerment. Today I have with me Sanjeev Verma. And Sanjeev is, what's the best way to say this, Sanjeev? I'm just going to read this because I was trying so hard to figure out the best way to introduce you because you do so many different interesting things. So I would say that you're a mind architect, clarity coach. You're the founder of Mind Demystified, a platform devoted to helping people break free from the mental fog that keeps them stuck. How do you feel about that? Does that sound about right?
That sounds. You have given me some taglines just now. So,
I'll send those to you. Um, I met you. You did my Vedic astrology reading.
yes.
So I would love to talk about, can we go back to how did you get into this? Like, I don't really know how somebody gets into doing Vedic astrology readings. Is it something that you realize you have a gift for this? Or maybe just let's start with you explaining what Vedic astrology is, because there's probably a lot of people right now are going, Betsy, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
So
I do understand. Yeah, so started up as a hobby, and that hobby started up as curiosity and curiosity in the mystery. And I always had this little thing about me that to unfold the mystery, you know. And this mystery turned into a hobby and learning, and then it turned into profession. So there was a bit of a journey there, and I felt very passionately about it. And the question always remained in my mind, what's our connection? Because there are some obvious connections with the planets and the universe and the oneness of the universe. And I was like, okay, if full moon can cause tides and we are 70-80% water, then where are our tides happening here? You know, are they happening in the body? Are they happening in the mind? Are they happening in the brain? What's going on? You know, and if that's influencing our moods and feelings, then there has to be much more to this whole thing. So sun is another obvious thing. We see the light of sun. It nourishes us. It has vitamin D in it. Very high hydrogen levels, 79.8%, if I'm not wrong. We also have a component of hydrogen within us, and everything in this universe is made up of six elements, which is hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, sulfur, and phosphorus. So then, this element of hydrogen, how does it interact with the energy of sun? Because as far as I understand, and what science says, is that equal matches in the vibrational fields. They have the same frequency of connection. So if that is the connection, then of course, sun is influencing us in much more deeper level or scale than what we know.
So when you say the sun is influencing us, if you don't mind me interrupting here for a second,
Please, please.
um, is it the time of year, the seasons, how much sun you take in per day? I mean, how are you interpreting that?
So when you're born, when you enter this world, so it's like first time entering into the water, so you get completely wet, right? So as you enter into this sea or the ocean of consciousness, everything imprints on you. And that first imprint is like click of a camera negative. It's printed in there, is in there. So the way it gets imbibed in you or gets embedded in you is just like something gone through you, in you, as a electromagnetic energetic field, and it remains there all your life.
Really? Okay.
So the way it has entered you in time and place, that is going to determine the angles from which all of that was coming. So when we are making a chart, that's where it's very, very important to have your date, time, and place of birth, so that we know exactly what was the longitude and latitude of that planet when its energetic field was entering your energetic field.
And what clues does that give you for the trajectory of that person's life?
Yeah, there is a philosophical side to it, and then there is a scientific side to it. So essentially, what my learning is that it is all seed of potentiality of your destiny, and that's how all these planetary energies are in you in the seed form. So they have the potential to grow to become a full tree. So, say in your area of relationship or area of career, there is a seed potential of certain type, then I can see the seed potential as, okay, is this a mango seed? Is this an apple seed, orange seed? And then I know what's going to come out of it. Orange seed cannot have the apple coming out of it, or the mango seed is not going to have the apple part of it. But the tragedy of human uh, life, in some sense, is that we are always trying to be somebody else. So when we are trying to become, being a mango, trying to become an apple, we will never be able to become an apple, but become a bad mango, lose your own nature. So all of that defines the nature of the person and defines the potential in different aspects of their lives and the potential to grow. So, like if you're a mango seed, your potential to grow and become a tall mango tree, 100 foot tall, give thousands of mangoes in a lifetime. So, I normally say that astrology is something is a guiding tool in which you can live your highest potential in different manner,
So for
in different.
people looking to find, because I think as we go through life, we're so influenced, and that's the fog in the mind, right? We're so influenced by society, family, religion, whatever, however we're raised, right?
Yeah,
And we think we have to live to a certain standard that isn't necessarily authentic to us, and is not authentic to the seed that we are supposed to become. And so many people, especially in midlife, I think, look back and they're like, "Wait a minute, what am I doing right now?"
exactly.
Am I really fulfilling my purpose, and am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing in this life?
Yeah,
And how do I figure out what I'm supposed to eat, right? How do you get rid of that noise that's
yeah,
been in your mind for so long?
yeah. That's where it comes handy, to get that guidance. That okay, this is your potential. This is what you should do. See, when the subject was in implementation mode, and it's only my imagination that how it would have been, and it's thousands of years old. So when somebody say a kid is born in a family, so they will go and get the chart made by a jyotish. The person who does the chart reading or makes the chart is called the jyotishi. So they will go to them, and every village had that. They will go to him, he will make the chart, and would say, okay, this person's Mars is pretty strong, so this person has soldier like potential. So put this person into that training and train that person into becoming a soldier. So because he's going to become a great soldier. But if there is a lot of, say, more creative aspect in that person, can make probably the best pottery, then, and if you are trying to make him a soldier, he's going to be a bad soldier, he's not going to be the best soldier. So I think this is how it was initially used. And then the subject is dependent on few thought processes. One is karma, that when your accumulated karma comes to fruition in this lifetime, forms your destiny. And where does it really live? So it is all in your subconscious. So essentially, what I'm reading on a piece of paper, I can say it in another way, is your subconscious mind on a piece of paper. Now, as Carl Jung has said, that 90% of your life has been led by your subconscious, only 10% is led by conscious mind. So, if your conscious and subconscious are in alignment, then you're going to live your best life. Now, as you were saying, that all the belief systems and all the conditionings and all the perceptions of other elements in the society are projected on you and they become yours, then you have completely lost yourself. But, and in that case, your conscious mind is not in alignment with your subconscious mind. So there is a struggle. So, but if you can in tune and align both of them, you would automatically walk the path
And how do you do
in
that? How do you
future.
get them in alignment?
Okay, so it's like, first of all, don't try to be somebody else. You have to recognize what's your passion, what's your talent, what is in your core feeling about something. See, you cannot ever become somebody which you cannot handle. But we try to think and push ourselves into that thinking that, yes, I can. But then you recognize that you're not that person and you cannot, and it becomes a stressful journey, a very stressful thing.
Hmm.
And that's where the questions start to come, really, who am I and what am I doing? And what is it my heart really wants? And what is it I'm heading for? You know, so all of that is a part of learning, is part of that learning and shifting and changing, and that's where the growth is coming. We all have made mistakes. We have all been in a way victim of that perception of other people, taking that as yours and becoming them, and their perceptions are also being imposed on them by somebody else, and there is an infinite chain of people, those who are projecting themselves on others, and whoever absorbs that just becomes that. So
Hmm.
there is no truth of you then. So your truth is something else. Your truth is in your core, in your nature. And if you can tap into it and recognize your nature, I mean, somebody who loves gardening can become, if they are in the business of nursery, for example, they will do very well with that because they are in alignment with it. You know?
Now, what would you say about people who, because I know that there's so many people right now listening to this and they're saying, well, yeah, but I need to make money. I need to pay the bills. And this is the job that pays the bills. So I
Right.
just do gardening as a hobby on the side. So, my perception is that we spend probably a good 75% of our life in our career.
Yeah.
And so if only a small, minute portion of it is doing the hobby that you're passionate about, it's gonna be exhausting, right? Because you're pushing yourself 75% of your life to do something that's out of alignment with who you truly are and
Yeah.
what your true passion is.
Yeah.
So, what do you say to that? What do you say to people that come to you and say, "Yeah, okay, well, I found my passion and perhaps what my purpose is, but how do I do that? How do I transition into that?"
Yeah. So this is an amazingly good question, very, very good question. And it takes me back into the times I was growing up and I was finishing my schooling and my transition was coming up to go to university. There were only two professions parents wanted their kids to go in: become a doctor or become an engineer. If you don't become either one of the two, you're good for nothing, you know. And it is tremendous pressure. And at the same time, I was recognizing that I'm neither good at maths or anything technical. I had no engineering brain. I had no medicinal aptitude. I had no clue what I'm going to be doing. And I just was like, whatever feels right. So I just took a couple of subjects in arts, and I was like trying to struggle with that also because I was not fitting in that mold also.
Mhm.
So I went through my own journey of trying to discover myself. And I tried different things in my life, and none of them worked out well for me because I was not in my nature of it. And
Mhm.
the moment I turned my hobby into my profession, it clicked like this. Never
And then
look back.
and then it seems almost effortless, doesn't it?
Effortless. Totally.
When you're doing something that you're aligned with and is your passion, is your purpose, it's it comes so easily. It it's it's
Exactly.
it's crazy,
Yeah. So coming back to the point that you have to do something to make money,
right?
but you will do something to make money, but you will hate it. You will struggle with it. You will not feel good about it. You will be bickering about it. Your whole life can go through that journey without finding out who you are really. And you have just gone through life, which is really unfortunate part that without even knowing what you were supposed to do and what you're really doing. So when you get up in the morning and you look forward to the work you're doing, that's your work, you're aligned. And when you get up in the morning and it's another blah day, then absolutely not, you know. So it's a very catchy thing. It's a catch 22 situation here that if you don't live that part, then you are missing on life and you're doing something which you have to do. You have been pushed into it to do it. If I had become a doctor, I would have been one of the worst doctors, you know.
Right?
If I had become an engineer, I would have been a very bad engineer. So it is just like it's a struggle, and gradually you start to learn. And some people dive into it; they take that risk. Some people they just break the barriers. You have to be a little bit of a rebel.
Mhm.
I love rebels. Teenagers are called rebels in certain behavior, but they are the ones, those who break the barriers. They are looking forward to life. They want to live their lives on their terms. They are not living their lives based on what has been defined by the society as a code of conduct to live in the society. So I think being a rebel is a good thing. You have to be a rebel to yourself to see who you are really. And I think if you peel the layers of your being, you would find out. who you are. And the more you peel it, the more you go deeper into it, then you will find you are not this body, you're not this mind, you're none of these identities you're carrying.
Mm-hmm.
If I ask you who you are, you can probably come out with more than 100 identities within few minutes, but you're none of them,
Right.
none whatsoever. It's all projection. It's all been projected on you, and you have accepted that, and you have become that. That's the unfortunate part of ourselves, and that's where the my inspiration to go into creating Mind Demystified was to bring that awareness that you are beyond mind body mechanism. And when you establish yourself in that, then you recognize every moment of life as a potential of infinite possibilities.
Yeah. But that's scary to most people. Most people right now completely resonate with this, right? They're listening to this and they're saying, absolutely. I don't I don't like what I do. I'm not happy with my career. I wake up every morning and I just go, "Oh my god, another day," right? But yet the thought of completely, turning their life upside down to find out who they really are is really scary for a lot of people. And so like you said, you have to be brave, you have to be a rebel in order to break past that to really accept it, and don't you think that's a huge part of it is being open to really finding yourself and being open to finding out that maybe what you're doing, where you're at, and just about every aspect of your life is not where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, because see, the thing is, we somehow feel that we are the victim of something.
Mm,
Now, in astrology, a lot of people believe that we are victim of the planets, or planetary positions, or this, or we are victim of our circumstances. We are victim of this or that, or somebody else is responsible.
mhm.
But to be honest, I mean, there is nothing in the universe which is really against you. You're too tiny for planet Saturn to have a personal agenda against you.
So many people are so offended right now that they're not big enough to to be the victim of something.
Yeah. So it's like it's your own creation. It's your own story. It
Mhm.
is you are totally responsible, and you can't blame anything on anything. It is like, okay, I'll give you an example of planet Mars. Mars is, it represents soldiers, it represents cops, it represents criminals, it represents surgeons, it represents athletes. Now, a criminal uses a knife to hurt somebody. A surgeon uses the same knife, not exactly that kind of a knife, but knife to heal somebody. He's cutting the body, he's cutting the body. The intention and the quality and the process is all different, but it's the same Mars energy. A person cannot be a surgeon without having Mars influence in that person's life, in his chart. So, why that person would be a very good surgeon? Why this person would have no hesitation in cutting or dissecting a frog when he's going to the medical school and do the surgery there. So, the influence of Mars' energy of soldierness to deal with the blood, to deal with that cut is there, inborn, is part of the nature. So, energy of Mars is mostly chemistry in our body, muscles in our body, blood in our body. So this person has a natural relationship with all of that in a very strong manner. And there are people, if somebody gets hurt and in front of them is bleeding, they faint, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because that element is not so strong in them, you know. So their contribution into us has made us to be whoever we are. So everything is contributing in us to become what we can become to the best. So it's not that they are going to be taking away something from you. It's the same energy of Mars, which a criminal is using in a negative manner, and it's the same energy of Mars, which a surgeon is using in a positive manner. It's the same energy. Depends on how do you navigate that energy, how it flows through your mechanism out in the world to do good or bad.
So now that energy from Mars, that's what's imprinted on you the moment you're born.
Exactly.
So are there special times of day, special months, special, I mean, how does that?
Yeah, it all depends on how Mars is transiting in the sky and how it is influencing every single element of Earth through different vortexes of energies, which we call nakshatras. There are 27 of these are, and in Western it has been called 27 mansions, lunar mansions. So these are vortexes of energy, and when a planet enters into an energetic field of this vortex, its quality changes. So it's like you go to a bar and you are in that environment of energy, your quality will shift in that environment.
Okay. Yep.
And you are in a temple or a church or in a mosque, your quality shifts, right? So it depends on what quality it's carrying in that vortex of energy. This vortex of energy is not the same in every division of it. So, as it is moving through that, it is taking that energy with it, and that energy determines whether this energy is really pure and it enters into the body of a person. Then this person's potential of becoming surgeon and using this in the positive manner is very high. But if it is really polluted with the negative aspect of that vortex of energy, then the chances of this person becoming a criminal would be very high also.
So it's kind of nature versus nurture in a way. So so they're born with the same energy, right?
Yeah.
These two people, okay? So you've got a surgeon and a criminal,
Right.
and they're born with the same energy, but if I'm understanding this correctly, where you spend your time growing up, where that energy is, right? Like you said, the difference between a bar and, say a church, right?
Yeah.
Um, that's what determines whether they become a criminal or like
No,
how.
that will not. So even the best parents had criminal kids, and criminal parents had saintly kids.
Okay.
So it all depends on what kind of nature of energy they
Mhm.
are born with. So each energy scale is divided into three parts or three scales, I would say. One is pure, one is mix of pure, impure, and one is impure. So in the Sanskrit language or in the terms of Vedic astrology, is called sattvic, which is pure, rajasic, which is mix of pure, impure, and then there is tamasic, which is impure. So by nature, this person is like that, but still has the opportunity to evolve into the purer side from being totally impure side. That's the evolution of human life. That's the evolution of human mind. Is then we have three instincts we live through. Animal instincts we are born with, then we are born with human instinct, and then we are born with spiritual instincts. So animal instincts are limited to survival, pleasure, and power. If you look into our body from a spiritual perspective point of view, it is three lower rungs of our chakras, three lower chakras. Root chakra, which is directly connected with survival. Our second chakra, sacral, is directly connected with pleasure. And our navel chakra directly connected with power. And then if I connect it with the psychology, then root chakra is directly connected with the theory of Darwin.
Mhm.
Then Freud, the second chakra, and Adler, the third chakra. Then Carl Jung is the one person who took it to the next level of human brotherhood. And that's your heart chakra. And human instinct starts from here. When it's been said there's resurrection of the spirit is the consciousness which peers through your all chakras. And as it peers through one chakra at the bottom, it goes beyond one plane of survival. You go beyond survival. You will never have an insecurity or threat of survival. Never, once you go on past that point. Once you go past another point of pleasure, then you're done with that part. You cross another plane. When you go next, then you're gone beyond power, all animal instincts. So when it's been said, resurrection of the spirit of a human being, that person has reached to the heart level, and from there it operates. And that's where the love, compassion, empathy, balance, no judgment, all of that comes in play. That's
Now,
where the resurrection is taken place. Then there is another resurrection, that's the next level, in which your spirit, your consciousness, has pierced through not only your heart, but through your navel chakra, also the third eye, going beyond all senses. Our senses are below this part, all of them. And when you go beyond your senses, then you are in the purity of consciousness because there is no information being received by the consciousness. And as you go beyond this and go up here in your seventh chakra, then you have achieved or have experienced consciousness to its highest scale.
give me an example if you can. And also, my other question next to that question is this something that we go in and out of on a daily basis, or is this something that you achieve it and you're always there?
So once you go beyond certain point, then you never fall back.
Okay.
Your chances of falling back are only 1% because you have both in you. Both means the shadow side of you and the light side of you. Now, this is all light, and light is growing in you. And as light keeps growing, it keeps going beyond the limitations of the dark side. Dark side is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, but the seed of that dark side never dies. It never dies unless you have reached here.
Okay.
So when there is an opportunity for that seed to receive any energy, it activates. And that's why the best people, so called enlightened people, or people those who have reached to a very high evolution of human soul, they fall because that little part triggers, and then they get carried away with that, or they don't pay attention to it, that this is in a very subtle manner is creeping into and trying to grow back again, which you have almost destroyed. It starts to take over and you don't even recognize. That's the dangerous part of it. So even the best of the best people, so-called the purest people, I would say, even a saint can have the worst possible thought at
Really?
any given point of time in their lives. And they do have. Everybody gets through this journey of having very bad thoughts and very good thoughts. A criminal has the potential of having very good thoughts also. So depends on if a person is aware of that and recognizes and let it just go, catches the thief in his tracks,
So it's
or you're caught into it. So it is really, I would say, double-edged sword you're walking on, and that's why the spiritual journey is difficult. It's not easy because it's the play of mind and mind versus mind. So who's fighting with whom and who's winning? Nobody. If your both hands are fighting with each other, you're going to get exhausted in that.
mm-hmm.
And that's what happens. Most of the people start to fight with their minds.
I wouldn't you say most of us do that on a daily
Oh,
basis?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But the art of recognizing that and seeing yourself separate from that is the control,
And
effortless control.
effortless control of the mind.
Yes.
And to me, that would mean peace. That would mean freedom. That,
Freedom, totally, totally.
yeah.
Very liberating because a bad thought comes, you don't feel guilty about it because it's the nature of your human mechanism in which this is going to rise and come to the surface because you have been exposed to it and you have received it. It's in
Okay.
your being. And when it pops up because of some trigger point, maybe somebody pushes your button and you get angry. And in that anger, you are having the most drastic thoughts. So everything is on automation of that nature and it's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't feel guilty about it. Yes, you can be the observer of it because you are not the thought, because you are not the mind. And when you're not the mind and when you're not the thought, you are in your freedom. You are just the observer of that.
Yes. Yeah. So you're having control over your reaction. You're going to have the reaction. It's not like you're saying that you're going to get to a point in your life where you're never going to be angry again.
Yeah, if you are in observer state, you will not get angry.
Oh, okay.
Yes, if
Okay.
you are getting angry and you notice anytime, try this in your life, you're getting angry and you notice it will calm down.
Yes.
You're having anxiety, notice it, be the observer of it for 5 minutes. Your anxiety is going to go down drastically because these are all attacks on you
Mm-hmm.
by the shadow side of you.
So when you say be an observer of it, explain that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So what do you do as an observer? How
Okay,
are
so
you being as an observer?
so that would lead to who observes, you know.
Okay.
So who observes? So say, give you an example, you're sleeping at night and you are having a dream. In dream, your body is sleeping, right? In that
Mhm.
state. And your mind is engaged in the dream. Then who's watching the dream? Who knows that this is a dream?
Hmm. The the
That's who
dreamer.
you are.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the observer of the dream. Now, if you know this world is a dream and you are observer of the dream, then you can observe it. So the problem is that we are so caught into our identity of this person as me on the outer surface that I have lost my true identity. So my true identity is the one who is observing everything. No. So I'll give you an example of a mythological story. It's a profound story. I love it. So there was a king. He was very spiritual and was very fascinated by the mystery of the world and this creation and everything. So he had surrounded himself with wise people, and he would always challenge them by questions, and there were always these questions were answered by these people. This is it. This is it. This is it. And one day he was in a dream, and he saw himself as a beggar, and he was begging. And as he was begging in his own state, people were pushing him and humiliating him and insulting him. And in that dream, it became so real for him, he started to react physically in the body. And then he woke up, and a question came in his mind: was that real, or is this real?
Hmm.
What is the reality of me? And he had all these wise people come in the morning, and he put this across: what's the reality of me? Nobody could answer it. And there was this known, one of the top notch wise guy there, who came with his 13-year-old son. And this 13-year-old son gave the answer. And he said, you are who you are in now is the same who you were in the dream as an observer.
Hmm.
So your bottom line, as who you are in this awakened state and observing all of this, is the same as who you were in the dream, observing the dream. You never changed. You never change in your awakened state. You never change in your dream state. You never change in your deep sleep state. And these are the three states of us. And you never change as who you are. You are the observer and the experiencer of all of that in a conscious witness form as a third party.
So if I'm having a reaction, a visceral reaction to something, I can feel it in my body,
Yeah.
then I'm observing and having that reaction, so it's not aligning with me.
So this reaction is not happening at the soul level, and that soul is the observer of this. Okay.
Okay.
So it's not happening there. It is happening in your mind and body. So it's happening in your mind, and mind is reacting, creating the reaction in the body. And as it's causing that, you're feeling it, whether it's fear, whether it's anger, whether it is anxiety, whatever the emotion of maybe darkness or depression or happiness, whatever it is all is the state of being. But in this state of being, there is something which is separate from you, which knows, yes, I am happy. Yes, I am sad. And it is not getting influenced by either. It is in the state of non duality of good and bad. For it, neither good exists nor bad exists. Both are as is. And that's exactly how our subconscious mind is also. Our subconscious mind does not know the difference between good and bad. And I can share something very profound here. It can be one of the lessons for the people, those who are hearing it.
Yeah, I want to hear.
And if they apply, it can be applied in any aspect of your life. And I hope I'm not taking over your
No,
conversation here
you go. I
and
love
your
this.
questioning. So, so say you have a teenager at home, and
Mhm.
this teenager has keeps his room dirty, and you being the mother, you say, "Hey, your room is dirty, and it's smelly, it is messy, and it stinks, and go clean it." So, as I'm saying these words, what's the image coming in your mind?
The image in my mind is my daughter's bedroom. No.
She's not
But
going to be happy about that.
no, I know. I won't tell her to listen
But
to this
probably
one.
you would know how to switch that by the end of we
Right.
finish this.
But the image that comes into my mind is that of what you just explained, is not only a messy bedroom, but also conflict is coming into my brain right now. Like, I am feeling conflict in the whole situation,
Yeah,
that there is something that I need to address that's uncomfortable, something that I want done that is a struggle because if it wasn't a struggle, it would already be done. Right,
you're
so
right.
I'm asking somebody to do something that they haven't done, and that's
And
a
don't you
conflict for
wonder why
me.
they don't do it?
Yes.
Right. So as I was speaking and I was using these words, the images were coming in your mind and were registered by subconscious mind as dirty room, smelly room, stinky room, and that person in that room looks also messy, doesn't look very good, right?
Mhm.
So it's a whole package of that dirty room and everything in it. Now suppose you tell, should I say your daughter?
Sure, let's go with that.
Okay,
I'll make sure she
so
doesn't listen to this.
so if you tell her, if you will keep your room clean, spick and span, it's going to look nice, it's going to feel good, it's going to feel fresh, it's going to be bright, you will feel good in it. What are the images coming?
The images are of a clean room, and it
Clean
smells
room.
lemony fresh, and she's peaceful and organized inside of it.
Okay. So in that scenario, previous scenario, you were feeling uncomfortable, and you were
Mhm.
feeling conflict. You're
Yes.
not feeling grounded. But in this scenario, when I was using these words, how do you feel? What's your feeling?
Peaceful and grounded.
Peaceful, right? Now, as you're saying these words to her, dirty room does that. It is already dirty. She is already seeing it. It is already in her mind and subconscious mind. You are making it even bigger
Mm,
and bigger. You have
overwhelming.
told her 200 times, you have made it 200 times bigger. Even if she wants to, as we work 90% of the times through our subconscious, even if she wants to apply her conscious mind 10% of that, she may fix it for a day or two, but was going to go back to that and even worse and even worse and even worse. She can't help it. But if you do this positive image creation for 90 days, her room will be shifted and changed. Sometimes to the point, exactly to the image you are creating in your mind through spick and span and all that, right? The reason is subconscious mind does not know that a dirty room is a bad thing. It does not know clean room is a good thing. It takes it as is
Mm.
without judgment, discrimination, or anything. So just think about it. How many places in your life you can apply it?
Yeah.
You can literally change yourself and change other people in your environment just by using the right words. Words are going to create images, images are going to create feelings, or feelings are going to create words, images, or images are going to create words and feelings, or words will create the cycle. So all these three are in their own interplay with each other and they keep creating this. And everything has been registered, completely registered in your subconscious mind. And subconscious mind, the best I can describe is like a video camera. Every single second on, you want to record a criminal scene, it has no problem. That's what it's going to bring out when you play it. You want to record a divine scene, no problem. It has no problem.
So we get to program the unconscious mind, kind of,
So,
sort of. How would you explain that?
yeah, so literally that's your God. I call your subconscious as your first God. If you want to know God, is the gateway to that. All your prayers, everything is heard there. Now, it can be your best friend if you know how to communicate with it, if you know how to put or access subconscious consciously. And there are certain states of our being in which subconscious is totally open to receive intentional information. And those moments are either you create them or they are there when you are ready to sleep. So when you are lying down in the bed, you're ready to sleep, there is a transition time between awakened state and sleeping state. It's a very, very little, small little window of time. So, say next morning you have to catch a flight and you want to get up at 4 o'clock. So, you set your alarm for 4 o'clock. So, that's probably your last thought that I have to get up at 4, right? Don't you always get up before the alarm goes off?
Always. At
Who
least 2,
knows
3 times.
who knows that? Who wakes you up? Who has that relationship with time?
Subconscious?
Subconscious wakes you up.
That's crazy.
So Those are the moments. This is another thing your listeners can utilize. Whatever you want to manifest in your life in the best possible manner without struggle, sleep with those thoughts and just leave it to subconscious. Because exactly at the right time, even before the right time, it will wake you up into that desire as being fulfilled.
So what would be a bedtime routine? Would be would you say, as you're getting ready for bed to basically think of what you want in your life or be grateful for certain things? I mean, what would you say is a
Yeah,
bedtime
it is
routine?
like sliding into your sleep with a thought, a very positive thought. So, say you want to have an excellent day tomorrow at work, very productive day. Okay. Have this thought in your mind that tomorrow I'm going to have a very productive day, and just see how productive it would be. And you will see some images of, okay, I'm in that productive mode. Okay. And while you are having this thought and you go off to sleep, next day you're going to have a productive day because subconscious will be working through the whole day to create that environment. Now it comes down to bigger things in life or material things in life, whatever it is, you can slide all of that in. Maybe a car, maybe a house, maybe whatever it is, a good health. The message you're going to give to your subconscious as a very healthy person, it will take that and believe that, and it's going to bring that chemical support in your brain to have that experience in your life of good health.
Mm,
you know but see, the thing is that you have already created this huge big package of that dirty room
mhm.
in your mind. It takes time to create that clean room, as I said, 90 days at least in that scenario, specific kind of. It may take longer than that, but you have to continue to do that. And the best time to do that is when you are ready to sleep and first thing in the morning when you wake up. It's a continued journey of sleeping and waking up with the same thoughts.
That's
Profound.
amazing. That
Yeah.
yeah, that's we haven't really explained your website, Mind Demystified,
Yeah.
and I know you have several mini courses in there.
Yeah.
Is this the type of thing that people are going to get from those mini courses? How to apply this
Yeah,
type of thing? How
exactly.
to
So
get
there are mini courses and there is a whole course, and there are. My website is right now in the reconstruction and rejuvenation mode, and it would be done very soon. By the time you will release, I think it will be done. So there will be many courses around, more courses around, I call it Vedic and Yogic psychology and its principles. And whatever we are talking here, all of that is in there, and very transformational. There are bundles of courses, there are individual courses, there are single unit courses, or everything compiled together in one course. Depends whatever, which one you want. And there are self-study courses. They can do that. I would also be launching something in next 3 months or so as a certification course to for people to get certified into the work I'm doing and do exactly what I'm doing. Uh, so it's
that's amazing.
they would like to do that would be great also. You know,
So
yeah,
let's go back to the Vedic astrology because you did my reading
Okay.
and I cannot remember. I know I have it written down somewhere. But you were talking about people, born into Mars. I can't remember how long would it take you if to find out. Like, I'm not saying do it right now for me, but like,
Yeah.
when you asked me for my birth date, my birth time, and my birthplace,
Right.
and you knew nothing about me. I mean, even if you would have Googled me, you would not have been able to tell me the things that you told me when we had the reading. Um, and I can't remember, but I'd love to know so how many different planets is it sun, moon, Mars? I mean, how many different planets do people uh are born into? What are
Yeah.
the things that you're
So, so first
because
of all, I would say is that I could say the same things 5 minutes after your birth by making a chart.
okay.
That this person is going to be growing into this. Okay. And this is the potential of this person because you're born with that. It is in you. And you are carrying it in your subconscious mind. Though you are a 5 minute old baby, and the question comes that subconscious mind, what are you talking about? There is not even a full conscious mind here.
Right.
But you have assumed this body is the physical manifestation of your subconscious mind even before you were conceived in the womb of your mother. And then there is a whole different journey in that realm, in
Wow.
that
So we were just meant to
horizon.
be.
Okay. So you are here and you chose that. Okay. So you are responsible for that, not the planets, not anything else. Okay. So generally, we are having the influence of 9 planets: Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, and then North Node and South Node. We call North Node as Rahu and South Node as Ketu. Uh, they are not the planets, but their influence is so strong in our journey that they have been given the status of planets in Vedic astrology.
Now,
They are very, very powerful.
are we influenced by all of those when we
All of
are
that.
born?
And
And there's
also, when you come out in this world or enter this world, even the first thought somebody had about you, how beautiful, goes in you. If the lights are on, if there's water running, if people are joyful in that moment of receiving you, it's all going to impact your life. In Unfortunately, in some cultures, when a little girl is born and they're expecting to have a boy and they don't welcome that girl with the same intensity and with the same heart, it impacts that girl's life. That moment is so crucial.
that's so amazing. My daughters are adopted from China, so they were abandoned very early on, 4 days old and 9 days old. And the child laws, in
In
China
China.
are very strict,
Yeah,
and they have very intense feelings around, obviously having a boy, having a girl, not to mention just the government,
yeah, yeah,
putting pressure on them one way or another. So that's really interesting to me. I'm sure they're very impacted by, their moment of birth.
yeah. That child is gel at that time. And child doesn't even know it's taken birth. doesn't even know. The separation between you and the child comes by you projecting the separation on the child as he, she, you know. And then as the child is growing up, starts to see the separation. You might have heard the term terrible twos,
Mm-hmm.
right? They why terrible twos is because they start to say no to everything. It's the test of their ego and separate identity to recognize their power as an individual. It's a very important thing for them to say no. That's where the ego is developing. Ego is becoming bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's also very critical because if you give into the no of that, then its ego can become much more bigger, but at the same time, its confidence grows. It's a tricky thing. So ego and confidence can go hand in hand. But if it goes out of control, then the person can become totally egoistic,
Yeah.
overly confident, right? So it's a parenting is such a thing. It's a fine balance of all different ages when they go through to see. Of course, you have to discipline them also. You have to bring in that feeling of somehow kindness in them, imbibe them also. The human factors. So there are many components to it. So it's a whole different topic. But just to give you that example, that how a child's life is influenced right from the moment that kid has come out, and before that, the kid through mirror neurons copies the emotions of the mother, and being in there is also absorbing a lot. If mother is in trauma, mother is in some sort of fear or depression, it's all going to impact the child. you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. My daughter, she was 20 months old when I adopted her, and we weren't supposed to go over and take the child until it was our time, and then the nanny would come and present the child to us. And so anyway, we were all in a big room, and they said, just make sure that you don't just go grab your child. We're all going to do this systematically. And so I sat down in a chair, and my daughter looked at me, and she could barely walk, and her nanny was looking the other direction, and she started to walk over to me, and she put her arms up to me for me to pick her up. She
Beautiful.
Yeah, she was meant to be mine. I am completely convinced, because she had no idea who I was. Now think of a child raised in an orphanage in China. She's never seen a woman with blonde hair. I don't smell like anybody
Yeah,
else, right? I mean, everything
yeah,
about me is
yeah.
different. The words coming out of my mouth, she's never heard before, right? That's a language she's never heard. And yet she knew she was supposed to come to me. And so, of course, I picked her up, because I thought, oh my gosh, I can't not pick her up right now. And she melted into my lap, just absolutely melted. All the other kids that were being handed over to their adoptive parents were screaming their heads off. She never cried. Both of my daughters, during
Well,
that moment of being handed over, neither one of them cried, as if they knew that's where they were supposed to be.
yeah,
It was just the most amazing thing. And I tell the story about her because she was a different situation, adoption situation, where we had picked her. Um, she was known as a waiting child because she was a little bit older. She had a health problem, and so I called the adoptive agency, and I said, "Hey, I see this picture of this girl. Is she available?" And they said, "Oh no, another family has already committed to her. They're going to adopt her." And I remember not being upset when I got off the phone. I remember just thinking, well, that's not right. Whatever. And it was really interesting because I didn't go to my husband at the time and say, "Hey, I see this, baby that I want to adopt," because of course they told me she wasn't available, so I let it go. We went out of town for a few days, came home, the answering machine had a message from the adoption agency, and they said, "Hey, we don't know what happened, but that family decided they didn't want her. So she's yours." And I thought my first thought was, "Well, of course, because that's the way it was supposed to be."
Supposed to be.
And so then I was like, "Oh no, I better go talk to my husband and ask him if he's on board with adopting this baby." And so I went to his office and he said, "Okay, well, let me think about it." And that night he came home and he said, "No, I really don't want, to adopt another baby and, all this stuff, right?" And again, I didn't get upset. I just remember thinking, it's going to be, it's meant to be, it's supposed to be, whatever. And I didn't say anything more. I didn't try to convince him, nothing. And we went to bed and he said, before we went to sleep, he said, "Hey," he said, "call the, adoption agency tomorrow and tell them that we're going to adopt her." And it was so funny because it was just it was the strangest turn of events that she was told that she was never gonna be ours, and then, and then all of a sudden everything just fell into place without me doing anything. No trying to convince. I just kind of knew it in my heart that it was supposed to be. So,
It was destiny's calling, so had to
yeah,
happen. Yeah.
yeah. So it's
And
just
when you have an ease around it, and as initially we were talking about, how to know your career, or go into kind of profession you want to be in, whatever feels easy or relaxed, feels nice within your so-called comfort zone, very natural to you. That's your thing.
yes,
That's your
yes.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing your story of this adopting journey here.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Nice.
was
Yeah.
it's it's, uh it's very interesting, and I think when you really listen to your heart.
Oh, yeah.
And, how many times do we fight that? When we have a gut feeling or we really know something, but we listen to the outside voices,
Yeah.
either our own outside voices or the voices of other people. And we go against it. And how many times do we find out in the end, should have listened to my gut?
Oh, gut feeling is, see, all another thing about continuing on the mind part, that the energy rises in the gut first of anything which turns into really a verbal thing. So it rises there as a gut feeling. It's a feeling,
Mhm.
and that feeling rises into your heart, and in the heart, it takes the emotion of it. And if emotion supports that, then it's 100% thing. First of all, it's 100% thing in your gut itself. But if emotion supports it, then it's a done thing. Then it comes down to your throat, in which it finds the language or the word. It turns into that emotion. And by the time it comes in your mouth, it has already turned into an image. The moment you open your mouth, like I said, dirty room appeared as an image, right?
Right, right.
So it goes and hits your upper palate first. Then it hits your tongue. Then it hits your teeth. Then it hits your lips. You open it, boom. And all happening in fraction of seconds. Amazing mechanism. I mean, it's just mind boggling if you look at any aspect of your being. You're
Yeah.
astonished by the creation. Is Nature is such a thing to explore.
But
Never
I
ending. Yeah,
love too the thought of which is so true, the thought that your words create an image, your thoughts create an image, those they all work together,
everything
and
was. Yeah,
that can create your reality.
yeah. If you were
Right.
physically present here, I would have shown that every single thought coming in your mind, how energetically it is affecting your body. Either it's going to make your body stronger instantly in a fraction of a second with a thought, or going to make your body weak.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
literally, we can do that test.
Oh.
So yeah, gut feeling is such a thing. Like people on these trading environment on the Wall Street, and there, most of them, when there are millions, maybe billions of dollars on stake, and they have to make a decision on a fraction on the Wall Street, when they have to make this decisions in fraction of seconds, they cannot do any research. Nothing is just whatever it is. It is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And on the floor they are there, and all these, well, in the exchange there, and all these are happening. Most of them, they make their decision based on gut feeling.
Yeah.
They are so in tuned into it. They just know there's no logic, there is no data, there's no stats, nothing, you know.
Yeah. And it's funny how sometimes it's hard. I've had people do this to me where they'll say to me, um, quick answer this question, or quick give me, a word for this, or, and I'll pause because I'm trying to come up with an answer that is correct, or an answer that pleases them, or an answer that sounds intelligent, or you know what I'm saying? I'm going
Yeah,
through my
yeah,
ego trying to figure out what is the answer I should give them. And they just keep saying, no, the first thing that comes to mind, no, the first thing that, and it's funny how we fight that so much because we want to be right.
yeah,
We want to look smart. We want to make people
yeah.
happy.
Yeah, we want to be politically correct, maybe. You know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's interesting. So,
you have
okay,
to be
well,
energetically correct.
what's that?
You have to be energetically correct instead of
Oh,
politically correct, you know.
yeah. I need to, well, sometimes there's a lot of times I'm not politically correct, because I don't have a big filter going on a lot of times. I always
Oh,
say my filter's off and stuff is just coming out of my mouth, for better or for worse,
that's
right?
good. Good for you, though.
I don't know if everybody always appreciates it.
Be the rebel.
Yeah, there you go. Be the rebel. I like that. Oh, I'm gonna get a t-shirt that says that. Okay, so as we wrap this up, I want to encourage people. I think you said the beginning of August, you're having the new all revamped website.
Yes, yeah, minddemystified.com.
Okay.
And
And
uh, if they want to have any readings done, Vedic astrology reading done, they can reach out to me through my other website, which is sanjeevsv.com.
okay, so
SANJEEVSV.com. Yeah,
okay.
they can reach.
SANJEEVSJ.com.
No, SV.
Oh, SV. Oh my gosh. SV.com. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, no
That
problem.
that makes actually more
SanjeevSV.com.
sense. But I'm
On
also gonna
my Mind Demystified, they can also book one-on-one sessions with me, and I have these different programs: 5 hour program, 10 hour program, and they are all transformational programs. And I do hands-on work with them one-on-one and go through the layers of it.
yeah, which I
Yeah.
highly recommend. And, especially if at any point in time during this podcast you were saying, yeah, that's totally me. I don't have control over my thoughts, or I'm not, happy in my life. I'm not satisfied in my career.
Yeah, we
And
we are carrying a lot of traumas and a lot of conditionings, and but traumas are part of our experience also, and
mhm,
but we can definitely dilute them. We can wipe them out. It's not a big deal, really. Human whole aspect of a human being is always ready to heal, is always ready to jump out of that, because it's not the nature of the human body and mind. It wants to come out. But sometimes people want to hold on to trauma, and it's a very bitter thing to say, but People enjoy their misery also, you
They
know.
do, because it's weirdly a comfortable place for them.
Yeah,
And it's, if you play the victim and don't take responsibility,
yeah,
then it's so much easier when you fail, so to speak, right?
exactly.
Because it's not your fault.
Yeah.
And it's
Blame is on
easier.
somebody else, and then you get a lot of attention also by being in that victimhood. And yeah, so it's all weaker side of us, but you should not hang on to it, you know,
Right.
because your power is much more higher and greater, and you can literally fly.
Yeah.
So don't hang on to your fears, because you're not that.
No. No.
Yeah.
And once you get past those fears, and you're always going to have fear, right? And you
Yeah,
should.
fear of survival, whatever we have in our nature, as even anger or fear or any aspect which looks like negative, it's all survival,
Mhm.
essentially. Even people lie. They lie because they want to protect themselves or survive. But that's not a good thing, because energetically, it really depletes you. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but if you focus on the positive side of yourself, there is so much power in it, tremendous power. I mean, you know,
Well, and I think too that when you can change your way of being and you're living in a positive, empowered mindset and way of being, you reflect that on others and then you attract that same
that
thing.
exactly, yeah. It's your projection. Everything is your own projection.
Mhm. And I think that's so important, that when people sit around and say, well, again, playing the victim, that, everybody at work is against me, and, I can never, succeed or be promoted because they're all against me. The world is against me. And,
No,
mm-mm.
nothing in this universe is against you. How you perceive it is going to determine that.
Yeah. And if you think they're against you and you're not going to get promoted, you're right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, what is the saying? Is it Henry Ford that said that? Uh, if
Let's
you
say
think
that.
you
Which one?
I think it's a Henry Ford, quote, right? That if you think you're right, or if you think you're gonna succeed, or you don't think you're gonna succeed, you're right. Basically saying
You're
that.
right, either side, yeah. No,
Yes.
I don't know exactly if Henry Ford said that or
Mm,
somebody else, but
yeah.
it's a good saying.
It is a good saying, and I wish I
Yeah.
could remember what it is right now. I totally flubbed it up, but that's okay. People out there know what I mean.
Yes.
Basically, if you think you're right or you think you're wrong, you're right in
Yeah.
both cases, right?
God is
So
not in disagreement with you. Nothing is in disagreement with you. If you say, I'm sad, whole universe will say, yes, you are sad. If you say, I'm happy, whole universe is going to say, yes, you are happy. Nothing is going to say, no, you're not. Everything is in your agreement.
mhm,
Every single part is in agreement with you. How you feel, that's what it agrees with.
yeah.
God is not against you. It is in agreement with you. Now you choose what you want God to be in agreement with you. You know.
It's funny because that's a hard pill for so many people to swallow, because that puts the responsibility on them. And, we all want some kind of magic cure, some kind of easy switch. And like you said, it's going to take time. It's going to take transformation to
Yeah.
to become that person, to become, the person. And obviously we've said this before, that you're always going to have bad days. You're always going to, that it's not like those are going to be wiped away forever. There are circumstances that are difficult to navigate, that are difficult to, get past. But once you have that mindset and and the way to access it, right? Like, would you say that's basically what you teach, is
Exactly.
how to access
Yeah.
that mindset? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And once you have that, then you can cope with your world so much easier.
Oh,
Things
yeah.
become
So,
effortless.
honestly speaking, you need like 20 to 30 minutes dedicated every day for yourself. And then you're just growing.
That actually that's I you say that, and I remember you talked to me before about meditation.
Yeah.
And I always say, and see, this is me telling myself stories, and of course, if I say it, it's going to be true. Is that I'm terrible at meditation. um, getting my mind visualization, meditation. I really struggle with it. There have been times when I've really gotten there and really been in the moment, and then other times
There
or most of the time
are
I
a lot of
don't.
misconceptions about meditation also, and there are layers of meditation. The highest form of meditation is no mind state,
Hmm.
and that can be achieved right from the first time when you sit down for meditation. If you know exactly how to play with your mind, and there are small little techniques to do that, and you bring your mind in agreement with you to go into no mind state, you know. So there is everything has a little bit of a process to it, but if you do it the right way, then you can get into that. And when you are in no mind state, then what you are in, so you are in your awareness. And as I was saying, that when you're watching the dream, who's watching, then you get to gradually know who you are really. And in see the between you and the consciousness of the cosmic consciousness, I would say, or cosmic soul and your soul, there's only one thing comes in the way. That's your mind.
Mm,
And when your mind is not there, even for 10 seconds, you're one with the whole
wow.
in your awareness. So there are layers of meditation, and every meditation has its own benefit. So meditation which is focused on attention and concentration and one pointedness and the focus, it has its own power. Then the meditation of being in mindfulness has its own power. Visualization is another type of meditation, but it's not really the meditation. Affirmations are there as a loop creating aspect of your mind, which is mantras. You know, there's whole science of mantra. Man in Sanskrit language is called is mind, and tra is
Ah,
what changes the tendencies of the mind, or bring or makes that mind part of your positive, friendly aspect. You know, tra changes that tendency, shift.
okay.
Yeah. So that's where the mantra science is, the bottom line of that.
So does mantra translate then to mind shift?
Translating mind transformation,
Mind transformation.
or
Okay.
breaking the tendencies of the mind. You know, in the most simple way, that's how I can explain that. This
Yeah.
is how it does. But it is a very powerful thing, very, very, very powerful thing. It
Do you
has,
offer guided meditation?
yes, I do. I have actually developed a whole program around the science of mantra, which I haven't launched. And I'm going to be certifying people into mantra healings. Every human being is born with 108 sound vibrations within themselves, which are at the crossing points of their meridians, and also impacts certain aspects of their lives, especially 6 to 10 seed sounds influence different aspects of one's life. So
Hmm.
I'm building an app around it also. So there's a lot of work I'm doing right now,
Wow, that is a
and
lot.
everything is by the end of this year, hopefully, everything will just be ready to go.
Well, I can't wait to see what the new website looks like and all the new offerings. It's very
Yes,
exciting. I'm excited. That's going to be
yes,
awesome.
absolutely.
All right.
Maybe in next 1 week, check it out and you will know.
Okay. Okay. So beginning of August, should we say sometime?
Yeah, first week of August.
Okay. August
Within, yeah,
2025.
it could happen in next 3 days, whatever.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. All right. Well,
right
we'll
around
be
the
looking
corner.
for it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on today. I loved
Thanks.
every minute of it. Just mind-blowing, really cool stuff. And I look forward to our next chat and also the new website, minddemystified.com, correct?
Correct.
Yep. Okay. And give me the other
SanjeevSV.com. Sanjeev.
sanjeevsv.com.
Correct.
Okay. All right. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being on today. And I encourage people,
Yeah.
if any of this, resonate with you, if you have any questions, please contact myself or Sanjeev. And yeah, just like, follow, and do all the good things so that we can get the
Thanks
word
for
out
the
there.
opportunity and thanks for having me over the podcast. And hope that the listeners are going to enjoy it and get the best out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there was a lot to get out of today's podcast. So great,
My
great,
pleasure. Yeah.
great talk. Thank you so much. Have a
All
great
right.
day.
Good
Goodbye,
day.
everyone. Hey, if today's conversation inspired you, please consider leaving a review, commenting, and sharing this episode with somebody who could benefit. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube, subscribe, and follow on YouTube to stay updated. And I want to shout out to Audio Alchemy Productions for making this podcast a success. Until next time, keep embracing your journey and empowering your life.